from the cosmic legends of the universe.
The Dameshek Show.
The mission to fight injustice, to right that which is wrong, and to serve all mankind.
Hi and hello, sports fans. Welcome to Shek Show. It's been too long, but great news. We have something big to talk about. If you haven't heard, Super Bowl 60 is just about here. It's the Seahawks. It's the Patriots. We have to dig into it in every way, shape, or form. Maybe we'll even have some time to talk about the scandal of our times. Bill Belichick didn't get a gold jacket immediately. I don't get exactly what's going on with that, but listen, we have a lot to yap about here, and we are proud to say that we're presented by Lineups. Make sure you check out the Lineups YouTube page and also lineups.com, getting you right for Super Bowl 60. Like I say, from every which way. So make sure you're checking that one out. Eddie Spaghetti is in his usual spot behind the glass down in Florida. And there he is in his usual perch, high atop show business, flush with the glow of another Super Bowl era upon him. He is, of course, the showrunner of Shifting Gears on ABC. It's our pal. It's our champion once again. Kevin Hench, what's the poop, fella?
Oh, my God. My cup runneth over.
Yeah, it does.
Of course. You know, it's funny. I was enjoying being the plucky underdog for a week. Like, hey, man, everyone's picking the Seahawks. These little Patriots don't really have a chance. And then Kraft goes to the Melania premiere, and it's like, oh, now we're the bad guys again. Okay, oh, that lasted.
I missed he was there. Great. How'd he get a ticket?
Now everybody hates us again.
You got to pull strings to get a ticket for that show, from what I hear.
Absolute evil empire. I
can't believe, by the way, right out of the gate, talk about plucky underdog and all of that. The conversation immediately turned to that after the Seahawks vanquished the Rams. That, hey, the narrative immediately was, don't count out Mike Vrabel just yet. Who's counting them out? Like, what we think the Seahawks are a juggernaut now? That the Patriots have no shot against them?
It's so wild. I remember, our pal Kimmel, the Patriots' first Super Bowl, Rams are 14-point favorites, and then Jimmy Kimmel Live goes, "Hey, I'm just going to pick the Patriots," and he was very candid with us about it. He goes, "Yeah, they're probably going to lose 45-3, but if they win, I'll be the only guy."
No. Who said to do that? Dave Dameshek said that.
Dave Dameshek. Great advice.
That's right. I did.
No, I'm not disagreeing, but then I vaguely remembered it was so long ago, but so many Super Bowls between now and then. But so of course he's Nostradamus, it's like, and they're like, Jimmy, how did you know? Like, by the way, so what we're talking about now with the Seahawks Patriots Super Bowl is like, we're talking about like a coin flip where we're like, here's why I think it's going to be heads. Like, obviously, this game is going to come down to a bad pass interference call or Ramondre Stevenson fumbles or Kenneth Walker fumbles. But, like, these teams, this is not one of those Super Bowls where, the Rams would win 8 times and the Patriots would win twice, but we got them on one of those days. This is a 6-4, 5-5 matchup, 2 good defenses. It's weird. I was trying to think, you have such a great memory for all things Super Bowl, but like I was really trying to think of a Super Bowl, where one quarterback is statistically superior to the other. Like Drake May, number 1 in QBR, number 1 in the old-fashioned rating. Sam Darnold, number 11 in the old-fashioned rating, number 19 in QBR. So that's a statistical significant difference. And the Patriots are an underdog. I think the Ravens were favored by 3 when you could argue Kerry Collins is a better quarterback than Trent Dilfer, although Kerry Collins, not a great quarterback.
I have never considered till 2 seconds ago when you just said it. I love to talk about who the worst starting quarterback in Super Bowl history is. It is, by the way, David Woodley, the late I'm not going to say great, but I don't want to disparage him either. He's the word. He's the answer. People often go with Trent Dilfer. Some people float Rex Grossman. There's some other decent candidates out there for it, but the correct answer is David Woodley. I think you just identified the worst quarterback matchup in Super Bowl history. Kerry Collins versus Trent Dilfer. Sheesh.
Whoosh. So the Patriots are, first of all, the Patriots come out immediately as underdogs. And then, the very next morning, I read the ESPN 11 analysts picking the game, 11 for 11 pick the Seahawks. It's like, it's not that. We're not talking about a 14-point spread. There's not one Kimmel in the ESPN family who wants to go, I'm going to be crazy and pick the team whose defense has given up 26 points in the playoffs. Like, by the way, the Seahawks gave up 6 explosives to the Rams in one game. Like, this idea that defense is just an impregnable juggernaut and, it's going to have its way with the Patriots, I don't frankly understand it. I mean,
Well, here's the thing to interrupt you on that I think is interesting. If the Patriots win this game, or even if they don't, the 3 straight games that they've played are against the NFL's 3 best defenses, right? So I don't think Drake Maye is necessarily spooked by the quality of the defense that he's going to see in 60, because the Texans, I think, now that we've seen it all, I think you go Texans 1, Seahawks 2, and then Broncos number 3. But no matter what, and by the other thing very quickly, and name drop, I said it to Dan Lebitard at the end of last week on his show. It's funny that there's this weird diminishment of Drake Maye that you wouldn't hear with Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, I don't think, which is specifically, well, Drake Maye, he had a bad day throwing the ball, and so he's been lousy these playoffs. It counts when you run the ball, even if you're a quarterback. I don't understand why he somehow is missing out on that praise that those guys would get. If they were winning games, as Drake Maye essentially did in the snow and wind in Denver, he won the game with his legs. Why are we not celebrating that instead of pointing out, like, see, he ain't up to the challenge? Well, he just beat the Texans and Broncos, who we've held up as 2 of the very best defenses all season long.
No, it's weird. I don't get it either. Like, the MVP argument, when you look at Drake Maye's number, I mean, just, his passing numbers, you don't even have to look at the fact that he's obviously a much better runner than Matthew Stafford, but Drake Maye, number 1 in all the relevant categories for passing. His yards per pass is a yard better than Matthew Stafford, and he won 14 games, and, Stafford didn't win this division. Like, by all metrics in NFL history.
First place versus third place. Doesn't that generally end the conversation? I don't know why it hasn't this year.
Drake Maye wins MVP. Like, it's not close. And then you add in all the first downs with the legs and the running, and it's like, yeah, it's a blowout. Like, the huge turnaround. Like, as I like to say, Matthew Stafford led his team from a 4 seed to a 5 seed this year. But all the 1-yard touchdown passes have just somehow dazzled the voters, apparently. And on Thursday, we prepare for Drake Maye to get snubbed. But this, what you just mentioned, is yet another entry in the nobody likes Drake Maye argument. Like, first of all, he had a great second half against the Chargers. He was great in the second half against the Chargers, and that defense is no slouch either. Then against the Texans, he throws the pass of the playoffs. There's no better pass than the Kayshon Boutte touchdown pass. Like, he literally, Stingley is draped on him. He puts it in this tiny little window where only his guy can catch it with one hand. It's just a spectacular throw in a seasons of spectacular deep balls. And then the idea that in Denver, in a blizzard, you're gonna say the kid's not up to the job, when he scores the touchdown, and then he apparently went rogue on the bootleg and sealed the game. It's like, of course, all that matters as the quarterback is like, did you win the game, as opposed to putting up big numbers on a fast track in good weather. I'm completely baffled by the Drake Maye hate, but obviously I love it. You want everyone picking against you. You want everyone saying how soft your schedule was. I did read this morning, like, that the Seahawks, man, they played some bum quarterbacks this year too, man. They have a long list of guys who are not NFL quarterbacks. And I think that it's like that division was so tough because they had this handful of games against the Rams and Niners. Yeah, but the rest of the time they played garbage. So I'm not. And I think the other thing that, like, the Patriots were pretty dinged coming down the stretch. And then they got Milton Williams back. And then they got Will Campbell back, although he hasn't blocked anybody since he got back. But they started getting healthy. And I just think Zach Charbonnet scored 12 touchdowns this year. I don't know why that's just a neither here nor there loss for the Seahawks. Like, that's a bigger piece missing.
Right, because Kenneth Walker doesn't, because the classic thunder or lightning no longer exists. That's what Charbonnet was, the thunder in that equation, and now that is absent from what the Seahawks are throwing at you. Right, I agree.
So yeah, I'm kind of puzzled by how one-sided all the analysis is.
Well, it's because I think it's hard to work your way around the sort of simplistic. Seattle is not going to let New England's running backs, at least Drake May be a different factor and may in fact be the X factor to how this game shakes out. But it seems like you're not going to get Henderson and Ramondre rolling against the Seahawks run defense. So then it becomes, Diggs and the, Butte and whatever you want to talk. Are they going to be able to make plays? And, is Drake May, sophomore and all of that, is he going to be able to make, is he going to hit 1, 2, 3 deep shots over the course of 60 minutes? It feels like that's what they're going to need, right? Well, although the other side is Sam Darnold is 100% capable. It's no secret. QB wins in the postseason do matter, no matter how much people want to talk about that. And Sam Darnold has fully washed that stink off of himself with that performance against the Rams. But regardless of how big the spot is, Sam Darnold is capable, based on his style of play, of throwing 2 or 3 picks against the Patriots, and then that could swing the game too.
Or 4, as he did against the Rams the first time they played. Lost in this all this Seahawks. The Patriots give up 77 yards a game on the ground when Milton Williams plays. Milton Williams is playing. So it's like they're just a completely different team. Nobody runs the ball against the Patriots when Milton Williams plays. So then you're like, oh, I haven't heard anyone say, Darnold's going to have to win this by himself because the Seahawks are not going to be able to run the ball. It's like, it's equally, everyone's saying
you're right.
They're not going to be able to run the ball. It's like, why are the Seahawks going to be able to run the ball? They're going up against a defense that teams can't run against, and they're missing their thunder. It's like, again, no mention of it. And then the other thing that nobody's mentioning is the Rams literally benched a starting corner. Like, the Rams corners were so bereft that they were like, we're just going to try a different guy this week. And so if they didn't get home, those corners were not going to be able to hold up against JSN and Cup and the gang, just like, and Bobo even, Bobo, with a slant, so it's like, so the Seahawks are moving up in class to Gonzo and Carlton Davis and Marcus Jones. Like, that is a major leap. You're not going to just have guys who cannot cover their guy. So you're going to move JSN around. You're going to
imagine. I mean, that's not some, far-flung fantasy for Patriots fans. Christian Gonzalez eliminates JSN. Now what? Seahawks offense. I mean, that could absolutely happen.
So they're going to say, well, what we're going to do is we're going to do what we do with JSN. We're going to line him up in the backfield. We're going to line him up in the slot. Well, the Patriots have the best slot corner in football in Marcus Jones. This guy, he's so fucking fast. He flies to the ball. He had a play against Denver. So everyone remembers Sean Payton losing the game for the Broncos with his just idiotic 4th down decision.
Who saw him and Sean McVay being the reasons that their teams didn't advance in the playoffs?
The McVay decision a million times more defensible than the Payton decision.
I agree. Sure.
And in real time, the Patriots thread and I were like, this is what we need. The Patriots are dead. We need him to go for this and then put the paddles on us by not converting, which is exactly what happened. 10-zip, by the way, everybody else has the Doppler radar except for Sean Payton.
It's
like
wild that I know that that's like a human concern, but you're the head coach of a pro football team in a gigantic spot here, and that's not a factor for you. That's not a part of your calculations all week. I mean, not on game day. Yeah, I completely agree with you. And I don't know if you say game over, but 10-0, given the conditions, fairly close. Okay, I mean, against the Patriots, you're going to put 10 up on your defense.
And obviously, the closer you get, the less likely you are to score a touchdown, right? I mean, it's like the field gets so small. So it's not like he went play action and threw a pass to the end zone. Like we're gonna try to score on this play.
Yeah, the backup QB throwing on that. What are you doing?
He throws the
genius.
He calls the play that Bo Nix has converted all year. He calls this quick little out, and it's not there. And obviously Stidham doesn't have any capacity to figure it out. And the Patriots get the huge momentum swing, 3 points off the board. But the play before that, the reason it was 4th and 1, it's this crazy play. Stidham scrambles. Marcus Jones had sprinted toward the pile. When Stidham broke the pocket, Marcus Jones falls down. So there's a still frame of Marcus Jones on the ground with Stiddy 15 yards from him rolling towards a first down. Marcus Jones hops up and beats him to the spot. It's such a crazy athletic play. And that sets up the 4th and long one. This wasn't 4th and 6 inches. This was 4th and the full one where Sean Payton loses the game for his team. But Marcus Jones, the idea that you're going to be able to scheme JSN into space, it's like, well, the one thing I'm sure Vrabel learned from non-Hall of Famer Bill Belichick is take away the thing they most want to do. I mean, that game in Kansas City where Belichick said Tyreek Hill's not going to beat us. And then you're like, man, we really want Tyreek Hill to beat you. And it's like, well, you're going to have to do something else. So a lot of Kupp and Bobo and Barner, maybe. But you got to think that Vrabel inherited here's what's not going to beat us. 11 catches for JSN for 215 yards. That's not going to happen. So now then,
talking me into the under. That's what I'm starting to hear in this conversation. That maybe that's
defenses are excellent, and obviously jitters affect one side of the ball more than the other.
Who do you like better, Tom Brady or Drake May? Let me ask you this. We'll get into the Belichick thing in a minute. It's something I've established. I don't think there's anybody who would quibble with this. Bill Belichick definitely is rooting for the Seahawks. The question is Tom Brady rooting for the Patriots?
That is a great question. It was funny watching Drake May win games in a way that Tom Brady never won games. Right. I mean, it is exciting when your quarterback starts ripping off big chunks, against the Chargers, against the Texans, and then sealing the game against the Broncos. Obviously, my love for Tom Brady is so eternal. Tom Brady won his first 10 playoff games. Drake May has won his first 3 playoff games. In those first 3 playoff wins, Drake May did something Tom Brady could never do. He won in Denver. In fact, Brady's string of 10 straight playoff victories to start his career ends in Denver, the Champ Bailey-Ben Watson game, where there's just the worst pass interference call of all time on Asante Samuel. But anyway, obviously,
if they just call that play right, I mean, that's the fun of the Tom Brady Lombardi count thing. If they get that ultimately it's a fumble through the end zone by Champ Bailey. If they get that right, that's maybe, and maybe not even maybe. Wait, I'm trying to remember that. Would that have been Patriots at Pittsburgh for the title then? Yeah, it would have been, because Pittsburgh then had to go to Denver for the title game the following week. So right. That's the correct math. I think the Patriots end up winning another Super Bowl as a result if the referees just get that one right.
Well, obviously you get into this Patriots, all the Super Bowls the Patriots could have won. Mario Manningham, David Tyree, but then you realize
that would have been Patriots Seahawks, as a matter of fact, come to think of it. Yeah.
Then you realize the Patriots also could have lost all the ones they won. You drive yourself crazy. But speaking of a Super Bowl, they definitely should have lost. The Seahawks Patriots round one was on the NFL Network last night. So of course the Patriots thread, like a program alert. Hey everybody, texts flying around. Quick, watch an entire NFL game that you've already seen multiple times. But this was an insane. There's so much insane about the end of that Seahawks Patriots Super Bowl. Obviously,
maybe the best Super Bowl.
So lots of weird stuff happens, and so the volume of stuff that happens is so vast that you just can't hold it all in your mind. You know, obviously you can remember Malcolm Butler, you can remember Curse's catch, oh my God, literally his name is Curse and the Patriots are cursed. This is happening.
Well, the wheel route to Marshawn Lynch up the left sideline is what starts that whole drive. Like, what the hell?
Well, when
does Marshawn Lynch catch deep shots?
It's actually,
all of
a sudden? It's a slant and go. He lines up wide. It's not even a wheel route.
He does.
But
you don't show me up.
Yeah, I just watched it. So Jamie Collins gets whipped for 31 yards right out of the gate. But the crazy thing about that, so they get 31 yards to the 49. They got all the time in the world, and then they throw an incomplete pass on first down. It's like 2nd and 10, and they have to call a timeout. They have 3 timeouts. They're at the 49. They have 3 timeouts, and then Russell Wilson throws an incomplete pass, and they can't get the play called. I don't understand. Like, imagine if we just right now, if we did 40 seconds of just dead air. Imagine how long that would be. Even longer than us talking. That would feel even longer than us talking.
I would die before I would be silent for 40 seconds. Into a microphone or otherwise.
40 seconds is an eternity, and it's not a weird thing where your left tackle got hurt, but he's going to stay in the game. Like, nothing happens except that Russell Wilson is adult, and they had to burn a timeout after a short, incomplete pass. So then the curse play happens, and and by the way, he gets tackled out of bounds. So it's there's a stoppage. The game clock isn't running. You just have to get a play called and executed in 40 seconds. Can't do it there either. They burned 2 timeouts for no reason with the clock stopped. Just get a play in. Just call a play. By the way, get to the line of scrimmage. Like, here's what it's going to be, Russ. It's going to be a run or a pass. Do you know the playbook well enough to take command here? Or you got to wait for Bevel to speak into your ear? So they burned 2 timeouts. So then they run Marshawn. Dante Hightower makes the great tackle inside the 1.
The forgotten hero. That's right.
And Belichick doesn't call timeout, which is a source of great controversy. Do you leave Brady enough time to come back to drive for the tying field goal? But because the Seahawks were down to 1 timeout for no reason, they have 1 timeout left. If they run on 2nd down and don't make it, they're gonna have to burn that time. They're now getting right. They've boxed themselves in where they are going to have to throw a pass on one of the next 2 downs, most likely. So it was an insane play call. Obviously, we all think Russ should have rolled right, whatever, but the insanity of the play call was brought about by the lunacy of burning 2 timeouts for no reason on routine plays, basically.
I forgot that both of those 2 timeouts were burned on that possession.
And then, it's funny, getting back to last week's game, Stiddy makes his 1 throw of the game. Jalen Hawkins bites on a nothing, but Jalen Hawkins is just covering nobody, and they throw the 52-yard pass. They have to burn a timeout there. They don't get up to the line of scrimmage. Like, guys, we have to be prepared for the play to work. The play we called might work, and then we have 40 seconds to run another play. Like it's amazing to me how often teams just seem utterly unprepared for, yeah, here's what's going to happen after this play. We're going to have to run another play. Don't get caught off guard by the fact that we're going to have to snap the ball in 40 seconds. And those little things of like burning timeouts for no reason. I mean, Stroud did it against the Patriots. And one of the Patriots like keys to success historically is like, don't be the team that makes a horrible mistake. Don't be Kyle Shanahan when all you need to do is run 3 times and have Matt Bryant kick the game-sealing field goal. Don't be like, no. That's what they think I'm going to do. I'm going to call a pass. I'm going to get a sack and a hold. I'm going to be out of field goal range. Like, the Patriots have so often just been the beneficiary of insane coaching decisions where you're like, well, they just would have lost if any other.
Well, it's because of the perceived voodoo that Belichick and Brady have, and so that makes the unforced errors. We saw that for 20 years. Teams playing them, offering up help to these guys who are the last bunch that needed it. But that's exactly. I wonder how much like Pete Carroll or Bevel or anybody was influenced by past playoff history, because if you're a student of the game, you remember that what basically settles Super Bowl 16 is that the Bengals couldn't punch it in on 4 tries from the goal line against the Niners, and that really is what ends. If the Bengals had a chance, they would have had to punch it in there. They don't, and they breeze to victory do the Niners. I wonder if stuff like that. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Just know your history and know that don't overthink it, right?
Well, I always wonder, this is it's kind of an unanswerable question. And I just mentioned how quickly that 40 seconds on the play clock.
And like Joe Theismann throwing with no chance to score in Super Bowl 18 against the Raiders ends that game right before the half. He throws that little unnecessary. I mean, same thing as Josh Allen fumbling.
I just wanted to say, Josh Allen, like, what are you doing? This is not Jamie Foxx in Any Given Sunday. The screenwriter can't say he scores on this play. Yeah, so Jack Squirick might score, but the Skins aren't going to score. But the question that lingers over the Bevel, Carroll, Lynch, Lockett, Richard Sherman moment is like, when the head coach hears the play call, right? That you're on the headset and you hear the play call. As the head coach, you would want meaningful input into the play that's going to decide your season. And I think what we've kind of determined is like, unless you're going to burn a timeout, no head coach is just going to big time his OC in the big moment. And you're kind of like, well, then are you the head coach? Like, it's just weird. In the biggest moment, you have nothing to do with it. You have nothing to do with the play that will decide.
Well, Pete Carroll, as I recall, did wear that one. He didn't let, to his credit, he didn't let Bevel take the responsibility. Carroll, if I remember correctly, said that was on me, that play call.
Well, no, you
maybe not.
I could
be misremembering.
You could veto it conceivably, right? So you could say no, give the ball to Marshawn, and so it is ultimately your responsibility. That's why you're the head coach. But the mechanics of it with the play clock running, like, are we going to have a discussion in the headset about what the play like? That's when 40 seconds can go really quick. By the way, you see it all the time too, where the quarterback tries to change the play with 7 seconds on the play clock and starts moving guys around. And you're like, buddy, it's too late. You're not going to get this off. Like, you're waving this guy you're not, what is happening? And in fact, there was a critical play against the Chargers in round 1 for the Patriots where I just was like, you got to run Ramondre here. You got to run Ramondre 2nd and 2. And it was the play before the Hunter Henry touchdown. And the Patriots go shotgun, spread wide. And I'm like, no. This has to be a run to Ramondre. What are we doing? Just bludgeon them. And then Vrabel called timeout, with like a second and a half left on the play clock, and they came out in a very different formation and ran Ramondre for 12 yards and to set up the touchdown. And I thought, like, that's an instance where Vrabel's like, no. I don't want a quick out to Diggs here. I want to hammer them with the run. But it is wild how quickly and how often in that 40-second window it just gets away from head coaches. You know,
that sequence. Go ahead.
The Sean Payton decision is I think the worst coaching decision of the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And he calls timeout. It's not a quick decision. It's not, he takes a timeout and you're like, well, obviously in the sobriety of the timeout, he's going to send the field goal unit out. When they call timeout, allowed the Patriots to get organized, allowed the Patriots, you know, that you always want the team to come out in the alignment that your play works against, obviously. And then you've given them a timeout to think about the alignment they want to be in. And of course, if you watch the play, never had a chance, no shot whatsoever. Of course, Peyton can't call another timeout. That's against the rules. That's a 15-yard penalty. So it's like, once you send the team back out there, you got to snap the ball, and it just got away from him. And then, like, I don't like Sean Payton. There's something about that guy.
I'm picking up on that. Yeah,
something about him really bugs me. I just think he's a dick. But I just love cleaning house on the offensive side of the ball, firing your friends, just firing everybody after you were clearly at fault. I mean, you talk about Pete Carroll wearing it. You're going to fire these guys who don't call the plays? Wow.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think you're alone in disliking him. Real quick, but to take a left turn here. One thing that I've been struck by is Sam Darnold is the first. This is the 60th Super Bowl, the first USC QB to ever start a Super Bowl. I couldn't believe it. It makes all the sense in the world if you think about it, but I never put two and two together. Did you realize that?
Matt Barkley never started a Super Bowl?
Well, there have been good quarterbacks from USC along the way, and none of them ever started. Here's the even crazier one. Do you know what school has had the most QB start? I don't mean total starts, so don't go Michigan because Tom Brady started. I mean number of QBs.
Well, I know Alabama got off to a good start.
Correct. Very good. Well done. That's not the correct answer. That's number 2. Bama is 2. Then there are 3 schools that had 3 guys, and I think those are LSU, Notre Dame,
and Bob Greasy went to Purdue.
Very smart. Very smart. Well done. And Drew Brees. Did you just say Drew Brees?
And Drew Brees. Okay, is that the right answer?
No. It's Notre Dame, Purdue, and LSU. I think each have had 3 guys. You haven't gotten the number 1 school for starting quarterbacks in the Super Bowl.
Stanford.
No. Close.
Jim Plunkett, John Elway. Andrew Luck never made it.
Andrew Luck never got there. You're real close.
Cal?
Real close.
Cal?
It's Cal.
Wow.
Cal Berkeley has the most starting quarterbacks in Super Bowl history. Isn't that wild?
Did Joe Cap start one?
Joe Cap did. Well done. Yeah. Very good. Hey, I bring that up to bring this up now. You know, I love the Super Bowl history. Now I want to see how well Kevin Hench knows it. And bring yourself up to there, Eddie Spaghetti. It's time to play a Super Bowl edition of Mr. Lister. I'm starting off real easy like. Old man versus young man. Here we go. There are 10 names I have. Top 10 career passing yards in the Super Bowl. Spaghetti, you start us off.
Super Bowl game total. So not.
No. Career passing yards. Tom Brady has the most in a single game.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess I'll just go Brady.
Okay. Yeah. Low hanging fruit. That's the way you play, Mr. Lister. Go with the easy one. Well, actually, the good way to play is to get the hardest ones, and because people are trying to load those up, and then when that gets anyway, let me go ahead, Hench. I'm vamping for Hench.
Joe Montana.
Correct. Number 4.
I'm thinking, well, if he's been in, Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning is correct. At number 6.
Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner is 3rd all time. How about that?
Well, they didn't win anybody who's been in 4, so Jim Kelly.
Very nice, Eddie Spaghetti. Well done.
Well, he did win quite a few, so I'll say Terry Bradshaw.
There you go. Number 7, honoring his twin tower of dominance, Ben Roethlisberger. A nice homage there, Eddie Spaghetti.
I was just gonna use your guy because he was in 3. Is Big Ben in that?
He is not.
His rookie year game, or not rookie year game. His first one was bad.
Worst
I think he threw for 4 yards in that game, so
yeah.
I don't think that added much to his career total.
Is Aikman on there?
There is your winner at number 10. Kevin Hench takes it. Troy Aikman. Rest of the list. How did you combine to not get Patrick Mahomes?
Staubach? Is Staubach on there?
Staubach is number 9. Elway is number 5. And like I say, Mahomes is number 2. That was fun. That's why we have to do another one now. Career receiving touchdowns. Kevin Hench, you're up first. I have only 6 names here. Only 6 guys in Super Bowl history have caught more than 2 touchdown passes total. I don't mean in one game. In the history of their careers in Super Bowls, only 6 guys, more than 2 total touchdown passes. Hench, you start us off.
Rob Gronkowski.
Very nice.
Well, you're throwing me off now because you just mentioned Mahomes. I'm gonna go Tyreek Hill.
Oh my God, Eddie Spaghetti! The low-hanging fruit. What did we just talk about? Taking the low-hanging fruit. Rob Gronkowski.
You said go for the harder ones first. So
You're right. I gave you a mixed message, and that was unfair. Gronkowski, has 5 total, 5 touchdowns in the Super Bowl. It's pretty impressive for a tight end. Jerry Rice, of course. Do you want to try to see if you can get the 4 guys who've had 3 career Super Bowl?
Well, I'm gonna say, and it's a guess, John Stallworth.
Correct.
Oh, all right.
I mean, there's a decent case, should have been Super Bowl 14 MVP, and maybe even a stronger case if he hadn't gotten hurt at Super Bowl 13. He goes to the half. He has in his bag already 130 something yards receiving against the mighty Dallas Cowboys as they go to the half, and then he gets hurt. Wonder who would have been so if John Stallworth's out, who would have been around to pick up the slack? Lynn Swann, number 88. Now, there's one that is kind of like, oh, that makes sense, and another one you'll be like, really?
Michael Irvin?
No, I'm going to round it out here for the sake of the audience. The one who's semi-like, I guess that would add up, Cliff Branch.
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah.
Although I can't really, for somebody who's watched all the Super Bowls repeatedly, I can't really summon the memory of him. I remember the one against Philly, and he had one against Washington in the blowout. But then the other one is Antonio Freeman. I remember him catching one at the start. That's the first score of Super Bowl 32, but he had 3 total. I was floored by that. Do you like that game?
I love it, of course. But, what's interesting about Cliff Branch is I always think, and I, as a white guy with great hands, I loved Fred Biletnikoff as a kid. It was so exciting that this guy was the Super Bowl MVP. But he has 4 catches for 79 yards and no touchdowns. That's his Super Bowl line. It's not Lynn Swann 4 catches for 161 yards. It's 4 catches for 79 yards, no touchdowns. I believe Clarence Davis has 16 carries for 137 yards. Like, when you look back at box scores, you're like, did these guys watch the game? Were these guys aware? They're like, let's give it to Freddie.
Well, I mean, that's the worst one that is related to a non-QB, I think. The you know, the first Super Bowl is the first crime. That's the original sin. They give it to Bart Starr, even though drunk or hungover, bald Max McGee catches 2 touchdown passes, the most heroic effort in Super Bowl history. He doesn't get the MVP. Namath had a fine game against the Colts. He shouldn't have been the MVP of that one. I'm not going to sit here and tick through them all, but there are a number of egregious mistakes that they made with the MVP votes. All right, well, you know what? One more, Mr. Lister here.
Oh boy, okay.
I was going to ask you, Hench, what, because now you're expert in the emotions of winning titles and all of that, and you've done it a bunch in various sports over the last 25 years, so you're our North Star here. What, as you sit here now, what do you treasure more? The first one, or I have, as a Penguins fan, Pittsburgh Penguins. I don't know. Have you seen them lately? Have you been paying attention?
It's crazy. Both the black and golds. Racking up the wins.
Look out for the Buccos. Yeah, hang up that's a loyal fan right there, Eddie Spaghetti, if you're still wearing the Rangers gear.
I'm wearing Artemi Panarin because it looks like he's already played his last game for the Rangers, so I thought it was fitting to wear it today. Yeah, pretty sad.
Yeah,
Spaghetti, now that we're just for quick diversion, you can edit out the hockey if it bores everybody, but Spaghetti, how old were you in 1994?
I was 2 years old.
So a lot of memories. This blew my mind. This just completely blew my mind.
I can't believe they're never going to win a cup. Can't believe it, but we talked about it 5 years ago. It was like, well, the Rags are going to get how many? 2, 3, maybe? That'd be about. It's sort of like the LeBron going to Miami. Like, how many are they going to win in this window here? And the answer turns out is 0.
I send you guys like hockey reference stats every once in a while, but this blew my mind. Okay, so in '94. You've got Brian Leach, the quarterback of the power play, Conn Smythe winner. He has 23 goals and 56 assists. He's a force on the blue line. Sergei Zubov had 77 assists in 1994. Like, I was doing a assists leader quiz, and I was like, Sergei Zubov for the Rangers, 77 assists in his second year in the league. He has, so in 94 with the Rangers and 99 with the Stars, he has 2 incredible cup runs. Just like his whole career is built around these 2 months where he's just awesome for 2 cup winning teams. He's plus 10 and plus 13 in the playoffs, and not a guy that anybody that comes to mind. Brian Leach comes to mind, but Sergei Zubov, 77 assists in the 1994.
The Clarence Davis of the New York Rags is what you're saying then, right? I completely agree with you. Underappreciated. Here we go. So, which do you treasure more, though? Because when I'm the one who took us on the off ramp. What I was going to say is, obviously, the first, it's the same as the first Lord of the Rings, or when you see Star Wars, you're like, what in the hell? I don't know what, or you know what? The Indiana Hoosiers winning the national championship in football. Like, what? I don't know what, I have nothing to compare it to. I don't know how to feel. This is insane. And then when you get the second one, when the Penguins win back to back, there's a feeling of being impregnable, being made of steel. Look, no fluke there. Yeah, that was a magic ride. But now, where that one, we've achieved a new level of great 2 in a row. Ain't no jive kind of feeling. What's meant more to you over the years that you turned into back to back and ultimately dynasty, or is it still, do you hold that first one dear because that kind of will impact how you're feeling on Sunday night?
Well, I guess, if we were honest, then we were hooked up to like galvanic skin response, that the first one, we just tingled. You just tingle in a different way on the first one, right? It's just, Vinatieri makes that kick and I can't even process it, Renteria hits the comebacker to Keith Folk, and you're like, what is happening? This is the Red Sox won the World
It's so true. And you know what's funny about those is I connect them back to make it about me, which I'm loath to do generally, but I'll do it in this case. That's the thing about the Hoosiers thing, and the same thing as the Patriots first. You guys beat the Raiders in the snow. Then you beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Then you beat the team that's about to be, that has already been heralded as the dynasty. And you vanquish that one too. I mean, it's the same. The Indiana Hoosiers didn't just win the national championship in football. They had, in the new weird playoff system, they go Ohio State in the Big Ten championship, which is essentially a playoff game. Then they destroy Alabama in the Rose Bowl. Then they whip Oregon for the second time in 1 year. And then the cherry on top, they beat Miami in Miami to win it. And like I keep saying, if you would have shown me these are their achievements of the Indiana Hoosiers football program, I would say, boy, if they can get that done in the next 50 years, I'll be pleased as punch. They did it in a month. It's crazy. And that's basically what the Patriots did in pro football.
So the answer is like the first.
I mean, they cheated, of course, but still,
the first one feels the sweetest. This is the sensation is so intense. But what's crazy about winning is it creates this insane appetite. Like you're never like I used to, when I started following the English Premier League, and Manchester United just won every year, and I'm like, are these fans nervous? Are they worried that, like, what is this experience when it's just supposed to be a coronation? Obviously, Spaghetti's Yankees.
I love what you're saying right now, because I think about that all the time. If you're in the 50s and you're on the Yankees or a fan of theirs, or if you're a Celtics fan in the 60s, it must have been like, oh, well, yeah, great, we did. Hey, great, we did it again. Like, how exciting can you be with number 6?
Are there any nerves? And yet, I mean, what football, American tackle football, has proven is it's so effing hard to win that trophy. And you think about, like, Drake May's in the Dan Marino position. Like, this might be it. This might be it. Like, don't assume you'll be back there. We're listening to Collinsworth during the Seahawks Patriots first Super Bowl, where Russell Wilson, who really is had a bizarre career. Russell Wilson, upon winning the Super Bowl in a game that lasted one play against the Broncos, he just decided, I want to win 6. I want to win 6. I saw Michael Jordan, he's just talking about this. Like, shut up. Like, you realize,
right. Don't do that, right?
You realize you're eliminating any possibility of winning 2 by saying you want to win 6. Like, just one game at a time, buddy. Nope. I want to win 6 Super Bowls. Well, you won 1, and then you ran your mouth, and that was that. And then you threw the ball to Malcolm Butler. So,
wait, that precedes LeBron, or does LeBron precede Russ? That was an era where guys were shooting their mouth off too much, apparently.
No, LeBron goes to South Beach and before Russ, and just declares that they're going to win the rest of the NBA championships.
Why would you bring that on yourself? The only guy to get away with that really is Joe Namath, I guess. The reason you do that, but see, that mistake, Namath is like, we'll do it one time. Not like we're gonna do it.
This is why we needed you to be a professional athlete, Shek, because you would have been like, no, we don't take our opponents seriously. We don't think they're any good. No, we don't respect them. Like, what you say has no bearing on anything. This thing of this bulletin board material. Hey guys, now go out and try your hardest. They said something mean about you. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, I
want to give you a chance to say about Belichick, but I said I'm going to do it, so I'm going to do it. And I bring up the first one, and it wasn't the Giants' first one, but it was the first one that Spaghetti likely remembers celebrating. And so let's connect the dots here. The peak of the Patriots dynasty, even though they didn't complete the feat, was the undefeated season. Patriots, Giants starters in Super Bowl 42. Eddie Spaghetti, go.
Okay, I'm going to go with the sure thing and also non-Hall of Famer, much like Bill Belichick, Elijah Manning.
Correct.
Oh, wait, so we're 44 guys is how long this list is?
Okay, if you can do all 44, go ahead, Fred.
I'm just wondering how long, Tom Brady.
Correct. Yeah, let's go. You know what? Hench is right. Let's pace it up, Spaghetti. There's no time to vamp around. You get 3 seconds or out.
David Deal.
Correct.
Logan Mankins.
Correct.
Chris Snee.
Correct.
Matt Light.
Correct.
Kareem McKenzie.
Correct.
Lawrence Maroney.
Everybody's naming offensive linemen, and it's a fail for Kevin Hench. He goes Lawrence Maroney. Wrong Super Bowl. Eddie Spaghetti, you win. But I'm gonna ask you to go the extra mile here. Name me the starting running back for your team.
That would have had to been, was it the Thunder and Lightning? So it had to be what, Brandon Jacobs? Ahmad Bradshaw?
But you're off the hook. You don't have to worry about it. No, it's Ahmad
Lawrence
Bradshaw.
Maroney definitely it plays on the first drive of that game.
Ben Jarvis Green Ellis is listed as the Patriots starter in that game. Wes Welker, Rob Gronkowski.
In the 18-1 season?
Wait a second. I have the wrong list here. I have the wrong list in front of me.
You suck.
All right, you know what? Time is short. I want to give you room. Eddie Spaghetti can cry about Eli, and I think he should cry about him. I think it stinks. Obvious. I mean, I'll just say this, and then the floor is yours for the last couple minutes here, Hench, to bellyache about Belichick, even though he's not the greatest coach of all time, as his Cleveland years and then Brady winning in Tampa and the UNC stuff and all the rest of it have proven now. I don't have to make my point when those things already do. These voters love the first ballot status, and they like to issue punishment if they think there's something, something foul has happened. In other words, it's the same thing as keeping Barry Bonds out of the Baseball Hall of Fame. They cut their nose to spite their bust. Is a cute phrase I just came up with. But I think the reaction is a little bit wild here. Okay, he didn't get into the Hall of Fame. Other guys don't get in on the first ballot. And T.O., I think, is more grievous. He's the second, third, fourth best receiver of the Super Bowl era. Coaches are on a different standard, and there are those weird senior things which shouldn't matter. Either you're a Hall of Famer when your name comes up or you aren't now or ever. But anyway, you're the one who is impassioned about this, I'm sure. So go ahead. Take it away, Kevin Hench.
Obviously, it's a complete embarrassment for the caretakers of the game. Like you're the guys, you know more about this than anyone. You are the geniuses who know who belongs in the hall. And so, you always talk about Mount Pius and the sanctimony. And then you're like, I personally, with my moral standards, I don't even know what, I'm going to punish Bill Belichick, me, voter. And it's
right. It sucks. I agree. It sucks.
So it's embarrassing. By the way, there are two lists I need to come out. I need the names of the guys who voted against Bill Belichick, because obviously you should have your lanyard ripped off your neck. Like, you can never have anything to do with the NFL again if you voted against Bill Belichick being in the Hall of Fame. And then I need the Epstein lists. And I wouldn't be surprised if 4 or 5 of the guys who voted against Belichick are on the other list too. These fucking scumbags.
That's a big.
These scumbags.
Fair.
Fair. And then obviously, Bill Polian whipping votes against Belichick. Bill Polian's like, man, we can't let this guy who destroyed me.
But he is like Akeem Jeffries. He doesn't do it himself. He just gets everybody else.
And then he goes, I voted for him. And the other guys are like, what are you talking about?
You told me. You told me I shouldn't. I thought we were all doing it.
Of course you didn't vote for him. Then he goes, I'm 100% sure I voted for him. And he goes, I don't know, I'm 95% sure. This is not a list of 44 starters in a Super Bowl. Hey, old man, you can't remember the 3 guys you voted for?
It's the Paula Abdul thing. How dare you? I'm on American Idol. You think I'm drunk or on drugs? How dare you? So you're just crazy.
You're nuts.
Like Bill Polian, I don't know what I did. I don't remember. So you're too senile I don't think you should be voting on NFL history in that case.
You know what day it is? So it's like, I think what happened, this is what I think happened. And this would be an actual alibi. And by the way, if I was one of the idiots who didn't vote for Belichick, I would come clean. I don't want to be hunted like Moby Dick for the rest of my life as we try to get to the bottom of this. But, as it was explained to me, you can vote for 3 out of 5, and there are very deserving names on that list. If you think Belichick is a lock, you're like, okay, Belichick doesn't need my vote to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. 47 of the 50 guys. I would like to give my vote to Roger Craig. That's
boutique picks, right?
Yeah, that's a defensible thing. But so now, because you're not saying it was me, you're just left with no explanation. You're just out there. People think more than 10 out of 50 guys didn't think Belichick qualified for the Hall of Fame. Now we seem determined to destroy all our Halls of Fame just to make them completely irrelevant.
We need a Hall of All, Hench.
And I like Jason Stark. I've always enjoyed his writing. I love his passion. And I'm reading his explanation of why Andy Pettitte belongs in the Hall of Fame before Roger Clemens. I'm like, what is happening?
Remember you talking about play calling, overthinking it? That's this is the sports writer version of that.
You're undoing your legacy of understanding baseball at a high level. You're just every syllable you spill about Andy Pettitte belonging in the Hall of Fame before Roger Clemens because Andy Pettitte cheated and he apologized. This is the standard. Hey, I'm sorry I cheated.
Move all these halls up to Mount Pius and let's start anew. Let's start fresh with a new Hall of Fame.
The guy who was 5 times as good as I was didn't apologize for cheating, so he doesn't go in the Hall of Fame. But I said sorry. So then should we just have? Should Bonds and Clemens and Manny Ramirez just have a big press conference where they all go, all right, I'm sorry. Can we be in the Hall of Fame now?
But to what end, though? I mean, really, what I would be saying, I wouldn't be like Pete Rose was, please let me in. I really want to be in there. I would be like, great. Your stupid Hall of Fame doesn't include me, the best pitcher of a quarter century stretch. The great Hall of Fame. Hell, you don't have the hit king. You don't have the home run king. Why in crap would anyone take their kid there to go and see base? These are just guys who were good at baseball. That's what the Hall of Fame is now. Like these aren't the best. Hey, this isn't the best. These aren't all the best coaches in the NFL. It's a lot of them, though. I mean, the standard is so bizarre. What are you doing to yourselves? It's not. I know you want to punish somebody else, residents of Mount Pius, but who you're punishing? The noseless people in the mirror looking back.
Dad. When do we get to the bust of the all-time home run king? Never. Never. He's not.
But let me introduce you to Harold Baines. All right, listen, that's it. It's enough. Let's keep on doing it, though. Great times once again. It's been too long since we've gotten to Kibitz. Make sure you're checking out all the great stuff in the run-up to the Super Bowl on Lineups YouTube page, lineups.com. Get right that way. The great Kevin Hench. Make sure you're watching Shifting Gears on ABC. Eddie Spaghetti, best wishes to your team in the Super Bowl. Just know all of Football America is rooting against you. Make sure you check out Football America on the YouTube page there. Eddie Spaghetti, best wishes to whatever you have to root for. Ugh, dark times for New York City sports. Unless I'm forgetting somebody. I don't think, the Islanders, but they don't really count. Anyhow, great times with Spaghetti, great times with Hench, great times with you. Enjoy the Super Bowl, everybody, and we'll talk to you soon. Until then, thanks so much. It's been a thin slice of heaven.